My first month of creating my first course on distinction, I made over ₦1,000,000. And of course, this has given me access to students all over the world. Hello everyone, my name is King Clinton Ayoola. They call me the finest lecturer. Oh shit. I am a lecturer in Ekiti State University, Department of Mass Communication. I'm a teacher, I'm a filmmaker, I'm a cinematographer. And of course, I'm a businessman and I am a philanthropist. Before distinction, my teachings were mostly physical, just me and my students in classroom or training center having a face-to-face class. I actually enjoyed that direct interaction, but then it came with its own limitation. The truth is that not every student actually learn at the same pace, right? Some couldn't hear properly, and of course some would just lose focus along the line. Distinction has made it different right now because before distinction, once the class ends, we cannot really go back to what we have taught. Sometimes they ask questions and then you feel like, why do I have to go back, right? And the most challenging part is that students will have to always take you back to what you have learned before, what you have taught them before. And as a lecturer, you cannot always slow down or repeat everything that you have taught without affecting the rest of the class. So no matter how much effort you put in, some students will still always, they are behind and then they want to drag you back. I decided to create on distinction because I wanted to go beyond the limits of the classroom. I needed a way for my students to have access to my lessons even after class, especially for those moments that they didn't fully understand the first time. So it was not just about it was about making learning more effective, and building my first course was honestly a different experience for me. It pushed me to rethink how I teach. I have to break things down into simple structure that anyone can always follow on their own, right? At first it felt like a lot of work because I had to be very intentional about how I explain things, how I organize the content and everything, But with time, it became something I really enjoyed. I realized I was not just teaching, I was building something that could teach people even when I'm not there. My students have been responding very well, especially those who attend my film and cinematography training. The response have been really encouraging. Students who used to struggle to keep up with class now have the chance to learn at their own pace. They can pause, they can rewind, they can go over a lesson as many times as they need to, and that alone has made a very big difference. One moment that really stood out for me was when a student told me that for the first time they didn't feel lost during a topic. They were able to go back and rewatch their lessons and their classes. Distinction has this way of learning virtually, and then you get to watch videos on YouTube. You can pause, you can rewind. All these things made a very big difference. That moment really meant a lot to me because it shows that real shift from confusion to clarity. And of course, that's the kind of impact that I was hoping for, and here it is. In terms of impact, it has improved how my students retain knowledge. They are no longer dependent on the things that they learn in class alone. They have continuous access to the platform. And for the income perspective, it has created something more sustainable and scalable for me. I'm no longer relying on just physical teachings and the things I get from that. I have a system that keeps working even when I'm not actively in class. For example, in the first month of my of creating my first course on distinction, I made over ₦1,000,000, right? I know that's huge. And of course, this has given me access to students all over the world. I can teach them anytime. They have access to me. I have access to them. So before distinction, I was limited to students within my state. But now with distinction, I have access to students all over the world. So in one sentence for me, it's soft life while growing students all over the world.